Celebrating 30 years on the air on WROI is the first federal program. Hosts may have changed, but the program is still the same. Now continuing a long-standing tradition, streaming on the First Federal Facebook page and on WROI. It's time for the First Federal program.
And good morning, it is time for the First Federal program, Friday, April the 18th, as we welcome the A-Team today. Evan and Tanner this morning. Woohoo!
And we saved the best weather. Well, if it doesn't rain, it's going to be a nice warm day today.
Hey, we're going to talk at least right now.
Yeah,
it's
it's
beautiful.
beautiful. That's right. Yeah, I'm looking out there. Glad to be here this morning.
Yeah, glad to have you. Thanks for joining us and bringing that sunshine with you.
30 years doing this. It just reminded me that we're celebrating Ben Dalton's 30 years of working at First Federal here in the next week.
He's not that old. How's he done it?
He's a good middle school employee for us.
Hey, before I go, I did have a call in though, because somebody that special listens to this program is having a birthday today. Trisha Martin drives a Caston school bus, listens every morning. So her husband called, wanted to give a special happy birthday shout out. So happy birthday to Trisha Martin.
Trisha.
Yes.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, so there you go.
Trisha Martin Day.
Yeah, perfect.
So easy, guys. It's just that easy. We appreciate you, Trisha. Well, it's also Easter weekend.
It is Easter weekend.
Special weekend. Lots of family activities normally, and so wish everyone a happy Easter weekend. Our guests later on in the show we're excited to have them. Northern Indiana Community Foundation. You heard of that before?
I have.
Okay.
Some guy that thinks he can retire.
They're our neighbors on 9th Street, so we watch them pretty closely. But yes, Executive Director Jay Albright is retiring next week, so we'll be interviewing him in that role for the last time. And then we've got newly promoted Executive Director Corinne Becknell will also be joining us, and so we'll be able to talk about. She's been with the Community Foundation a very long time as well, and so we'll be able to talk about some neat things that just make sure everyone knows what the Community Foundation has done for our community, and looking forward, some of the things that we're excited about. So we got a great show this morning. We're really excited to have both Corinne and Jay on for this special program. And Tanner, we got some Easter trivia this morning.
Yes, we do.
Oh, no.
Yes, we do.
Are you a candy guy, Randy?
Who doesn't like candy?
Yeah.
Rhymes with your name. I thought maybe that would be okay.
Yeah, so according to the pioneerwoman.com,
Ooh.
it's a pretty valid source here.
Okay.
What is the most popular Easter candy in the U.S.? And this number is from 2024. It's by overall sales. Is it Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Is it Cadbury Chocolate Mini Eggs? Hershey's Milk Chocolate? Or Reese's Peanut Butter Eggs?
Man, there's some good ones
Yeah.
there. I'm surprised. I thought maybe I knew the answer until you didn't give it. So I thought maybe the marshmallow
Peeps
would be in there. But
I also would have thought.
not that I like them, but I know they're very popular.
Yeah,
this time of year.
they are very
I
popular.
also would have thought maybe jelly beans.
Yeah.
That's an old favorite, or robin eggs.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna think about this now, huh?
All these four are in the top 10.
Yes. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
It'll make me think here today.
That's what we like trying to do on Friday
Now,
nights.
what I wish Tanner would have thought of ahead of time was bring some samples in, just so
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
decide on the show what we would vote for.
vote
But without tasting them right now, I don't want to vote.
Next time I do a candy-related
There you go.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Of course, the guests may have emptied out the candy jar while we were starting too. I don't know. All right, let's talk sports for a minute, Tanner.
Yeah, a lot going on in the spring window here as
Yes.
the weather's warming up.
Finally.
Yeah.
Spring sports starts before the winter.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
It's always,
You gotta gear
athletic
up.
directors do a great job year round, but I always think, especially in the spring, when they're having to reschedule games
just don't
and
know.
fit everything in. And,
I've always wondered why Indiana was this way, why they didn't flip and put like volleyball in the spring,
Yeah.
because you could be indoors and softball and that baseball and stuff in the fall.
yeah.
Don't
It's
know.
kind of, I don't know what made it do it, but sometimes it can be a nightmare this time of year.
Yes, especially Yeah, those early Saturday morning
Who
invitationals,
wants to
and
put on
tournaments. and-
long underwear in April? You know,
Yeah.
it just feels wrong.
Yes, it
Especially when
does.
you're trying to swing a golf club.
Yeah.
Some of these
Got all
golfers,
layers on.
Stingers on the
Oh,
hands.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that or the end of the baseball bat.
Yes.
Either way.
Either way.
Yeah. But talking local sports, want to give some flowers to Rob Malco. Our longtime RHS boys basketball coach is retiring after 17 seasons. Overall record of 234 wins and 147 losses. And that includes sectional titles in, let's see here, 2004, 2006, 2007, 2009, 2020, and 2021. Of course, regional and semi-state titles in 2009. And he was the head coach from 2002 through 2011, and again from 2017 through this year in 2025.
Great career.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Overall, 25 years of coaching between the boys and the girls. He was a girls coach for 8 years.
That's right.
When he first came. So, yeah, WROI I had a chance to sit down and talk with Coach Malco. I think we're going to try to air that coming up next week. We'll get those details worked out. But
That'll be great.
Great conversation just to sit down and talk from beginning to end. And so we'll have more on that coming up. So,
He definitely brought the winning tradition
yeah.
back to zebra basketball.
Yeah, some confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's great.
So congratulations to Rob on a very successful career. High school spring sports, like I said, still going strong. Some of the teams locally off to really good starts.
Baseball team
Yeah.
off to they got another victory last night, so
Yep.
now 8-0 to start the
Yeah.
season. They defeated Pioneer last night.
Won a
so-
nice little tournament
Yeah.
last week, league weekend.
Howard
Yep.
County.
Yeah.
So they're in action tonight at Culver
Yes.
against the Academy, I believe it was.
So, and then the big sports news over the weekend and through the weeks, McIlroy finally winning the Masters.
Wow.
I think it was his daughter's little
The
putt
putt
that
on
got
Wednesday,
it
yeah,
going.
got it
Putt
going.
on Wednesday.
I think a lot of people stupidly counted him out after how he finished that round on Thursday.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's got the firepower to get right back in, and that's what he did. Tried to give it away many times,
Oh, I know.
but that made for the dramatics.
Yeah,
right?
it did.
I mean,
Made
it
it
was.
fun.
It was.
That'll be remembered for a long
Oh
time.
yeah, it had been since 2014 since he last won a major. This was his 11th crack at trying to win the Masters as the last leg of the Grand Slam, and he finally did it, becoming the 6th guy ever.
Yeah.
And only the 2nd one in 50 years.
And you forget how quickly he got to 3.
Oh,
as a
yeah.
young
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Oh, and everybody was saying he's going to win at least 10. You know?
Yes.
And sometimes when you put those marks, kind of like Jordan Spieth,
Yes.
you put
Yeah.
those marks on somebody's head, it's hard to
It's
live
hard
up
to
to
live
that.
up to.
And now Jordan Spieth's probably the next major storyline in golf because he's only a PGA championship away from the Grand Slam. He just
Okay.
hasn't been in the mix much the last few
No.
years, so you don't think about him
True.
like you do Rory McIlroy. So,
Golf's an interesting sport
oh, it
where
is.
a player captivates a year or two and
Yep.
then switches to a different player again.
Yeah, and then
Shuffles
the guy
around.
falls
Yeah.
off for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
to stay on top. It's
Oh yeah, it is.
Amazing.
And I don't know if I've ever seen as authentic of a emotional celebration from an athlete as
Yeah.
when that last call went in for Rory. I mean, he just broke down, and you could tell the weight just
Yeah.
lifted off his
a
shoulders.
couple tons of weight
Yeah.
just removed right then.
And I felt for Justin Rose too. I mean, now that's 2 sudden death losses, playoff losses in the Masters in the last 8 years, and he's not getting any younger. So that might have been his last real good crack at it. But somebody had to win, somebody had to
Yeah.
lose. So
The People's Choice won.
yeah, I think you're right. I think
On
you're
that
right.
one,
And
for that week.
it might unlock him now. As
Yeah.
scary as that sounds, I mean, he could really go on a tear now. So we'll see. It'll be
Confidence is up.
interesting. Yep.
It's just a great tournament because
Yeah.
of the time of
Oh, it
year.
was.
Yeah.
It was.
Especially for us Northerners.
It looked like it was going to be kind of boring going into the back nine with a 4-stroke lead for Rory, but it got interesting pretty quick. So,
Yep.
Yeah,
Never a
it's
dull
fun.
moment in golf.
no, you're right. Got some tidbits here this morning. On this date, 1925, the World's Fair opened in Chicago. On this day, 1966, Bill Russell became the first African American coach in NBA history. I did not know he was the first. I knew he
I didn't,
coached,
yeah.
but I didn't know
I
he
didn't
was
realize
the
he
first.
was first.
On this day in 1981, the longest game in professional baseball history took place.
Oh,
The
no.
Pawtucket Red Sox tied the Rochester Red Wings 2-2 in 32 innings.
Holy cow.
The game was then resumed on the 23rd of June.
That's terrible.
32. I wonder how many people, if any,
Yeah.
stayed for all 32 innings.
How many pitchers did
I was
Oh
gonna
my
say,
gosh.
who's got an arm
Every
left?
single roster, yeah, there's a roster. This on this day, this week's filled with sports. On this day, in 1995, Joe Montana retired after a lengthy career, not only Notre Dame, but then for the Niners and the Chiefs. And on this day, 1998, the Indianapolis Colts drafted a guy named Peyton Manning.
Huh.
Worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
That was a controversial draft.
Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf. Peyton
Yeah.
Manning.
Yeah.
I just remember that
I
was
think they
just
chose correctly.
dominated headlines for a while. It couldn't have been
Yeah.
a distinct difference.
Yep. One was a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time. The other one,
The other one's a who?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. There's been some trouble too. Off the field, let's just put it that way. And today is National Animal Crackers Day, International Amateur Radio Day,
Oh, perfect.
National Exercise Day, World Marbles Day, National Piñata Day, International Jugglers Day, National Columnist Day, National Lineman Appreciation Day, National Velociraptor Awareness Day,
Look out.
Yes.
Pet Owners Independence Day, National Clean Out Your Medicine Cabinet Day, and of course Good Friday.
There we go. Some good ones there.
Yeah.
There's nothing better as a kid than a good pinata.
Oh,
Just bashing something
Yeah.
open. You're not allowed to do that normally.
no, you're not.
Right. No, yeah, you get in trouble.
Yeah. So that get that bat in your hand.
And now for adults, they got those break rooms
Uh-huh.
at certain places you can rent and just smash things.
Yeah.
That
Kind of
is-
an adult form of pinata, I guess, but no candy comes out.
Yeah, no. It's called just a little
Stress
stress
relief,
reliever.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But they're busy on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Probably.
And what about an upcoming event?
Yeah, Dreddy's Place is holding their monthly Dine and Donate events next Sunday on April 27th from 9 to 1. This month's events, the proceeds will be going to the Joseph Hope Foundation and the Daughters of the American Revolution Manitowoc chapter. The menu this month will consist of biscuits and gravy, sausage patties, scrambled eggs, and your choice of coffee or water. And milk will be available for the first time upon special request, thanks to a very generous donation.
Hey.
This month's meal sponsor is Fulton County Best One Tire, and the egg sponsor is Creighton Brothers. So,
If you walk away hungry, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's if you'd like to donate, it's a cash event, but you can dine in, you can do curbside pickup, you can take it to go. So
A lot of options.
all options have good breakfast.
Some good teamwork there.
Yes,
I love that.
yes.
I love milk too, so that's a
That's
good
that's
incentive.
nice.
Get in there, get
Little
your glass of
addition
milk for
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah,
Well, thank you, Tanner.
you're welcome.
We're open today, First Federal, from 8:30 to 5. Tomorrow, 8:30 to noon. Don't forget about Saturdays. We love to see you on Saturdays. We're in the process right now. You won't see this in Rochester, but in Bremen and Winnemac, we're doing some extensive remodeling to our branches there. And those were our first two branches that we ever had back in the 70s. So we're excited to be updating those buildings again. They've had several remodels over the years, but this one's going to look similar to our Plymouth branch that we did about 5 years ago, and we're very, very excited about that. We've never undertaken two projects at once like this, so this was a fun test for us. It's been going well. We've got some great partners helping us out with that, but hoping to have those two branch remodels finished before our community appreciation days at those branches. And it should be done by June, I think.
Cool.
And one thing I want to add today, if you come into any of our branch location lobbies, you might see something different on the lobby display. Where this weekend would have been Dick Belcher's birthday on Sunday, on April 20th. So we're playing a fun little montage.
Cool.
in
Tribute
respect for-
video.
Yeah, tribute video. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's
Yeah.
It's a well-deserved tribute.
Yeah.
Lots of things there. I don't remember.
We
a lot of
enjoy-
fun times with it.
Yeah.
We enjoy doing this around his birthday every year, however it falls. But also, it's our annual shareholder meeting today at the bank, and that's always a good time. But I remember Dick going around and telling everyone the week of the annual shareholder meeting when I first started there, like, It's Aunt Martha cleaning day. At his house when he was a kid, if Aunt Martha was coming over, you were cleaning up the house really nice because she cared a lot about that. So I think about that every time. It's a fun memory for me. All right, I think this is our last week for our checking account gift, isn't it?
Yeah, the basketball cutting board, it's went over really well. A couple branches, I did a reorder and they sent a baseball cutting board. So
Perfect timing.
you might be able to get a baseball cutting board if you're lucky in Rochester or Plymouth. There's a couple. So
Interesting.
if you want one of those instead, you could probably ask for one.
Well, it's kind of funny. The supplier's like, nope, the tournament's over. We're
Yeah.
headed right into baseball.
It was an oops, but it worked out good. It worked out fine.
They don't mess around on this.
I may go rummage around Tanner's office, see what I can find.
Go for it. And I will bring the gift in next week to show off, as long as I remember. It's the sunrise. It's a sunrise clock. It's a pretty cool little clock that can work as an alarm clock as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, I just want to remind everyone, those gifts are for anyone that opens a checking account, no matter how many you have, Randy.
Yes. Or refers.
Or refers a friend to come in and open a checking account. Make sure they let the new accounts folks open, or know that they referred in.
You can even do that online as well.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
Yep, that's fun. All right, well, spring also means it's time to look for a home. A lot of housing activity in the spring as things warm up. We've all been bedding down for the winters and starting to do our spring cleaning, maybe look for that next size up on home. Make sure you contact Ben Dalton, Stacy Wilson at Rochester, or Ryan Austin, Winmac to get pre-approved today. We can help you kind of understand maybe a price range for shopping. Because I tell you, there's not many homes on the market just yet. You want to be ready to roll.
yeah.
And when they come on the market, they don't last long.
No, there's a lot of people looking right now and not quite as many out there available. So that can change quickly. So we love to help people get proactively ready if they're looking to do some house shopping during this warmer season. We also offer commercial lending for businesses, and you can contact Zach Reuter at 574-223-1731. Talk to him about any small business lending. Like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X. I'm still getting used to that, Tanner.
No, I still call it Twitter.
It's like every other time. I'll remember it. The next time it's like now.
Well, do you still call it a tweet, or is it a...
It's a post now.
Post, okay.
It's an X now.
And
Yeah, I know.
if you type in twitter.com, which is smart on their part, it still goes to
Okay.
X. So,
All right.
yeah.
Instagram, we're at FF Banking, LinkedIn, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got some great content on there,
Yeah.
including...
Including an archive going back to
Shows.
2018 of these First Federal Radio shows.
So, borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927.
Makes us legal and you're ready for the fun part of the show.
That's right. Well, I do want to introduce our guests that I mentioned at the top of the show. Here we go to get our mics ready here. Corinne. Yeah, we are excited to have Northern Indiana Community Foundation Executive Director Jay Albright and Associate Director, but soon to be Executive Director, Corinne Becknell Lucas. Welcome, guys.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. We're so glad to have you here.
Jay, your voice is working well. You came in, it was kind of iffy there. I'm glad to see it's working now.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better.
This may be a tough one, guys. Hey, this is your last chance to get the microphone here, maybe.
I hope so.
Retired just means you volunteer more now.
I know, yeah. It happens quickly, I've heard too. Haven't you, Randy?
I've had several offers so far.
All right, well, I thought I'd start out. Some people may not know what the Northern Indiana Community Foundation is. Jay, would you give us a little bit of rundown of what is this neat little business in our community and what's it trying to do?
Well, in 1993, a lot of people in Fulton County and in Miami County and in Stark County and a few other counties had this offer from Lilly that if you could raise $1 million, we'll give $1 million. And this $1 million that we got has now turned into a lot more than that. But what we basically do is take money that people want to help other people with. So that could either be a community fund that our grants committee decides where it goes, or a donor advised fund that they give us recommendations on where they want the money spent. or probably what most people know us by is our scholarship funds.
That's right.
So we try to fulfill the donor's wishes as long as those wishes have to do with a nonprofit.
So charitable giving.
Charitable giving.
And then tell us about, you're talking about I donate and then funds go to other organizations. How does that work? Because I know the term endowment's thrown around a lot, but I don't know that everyone knows what that means.
Sure, we have over almost 600 endowment funds now. And those endowment funds are funds given to us that we invest, and then a portion of the investment goes in to be distributed to the church if that's the designated person, or like I said, on a donor advice fund, they can give to 5 or 6 different nonprofits wherever they want it to go. And then the scholarship funds, of course, then give scholarships out to all the kids. So yeah, over the 30 years, we've been almost 35 years now that we've been in existence. We've averaged over 8% in our investments and averaged about a 4.3% payout.
That's awesome.
So when we make extra money, it goes into the income part of the fund, so that when we have a bad year, we still have money in that income to pay without ever diving into the principal.
So it sounds like the idea is that the gift never goes away.
It never does.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that a little bit. Well, give us an idea on when you started at the foundation, Jay, because it's...
Okay, I'll do 2 ways here. Fulton
Okay.
County first.
That
and
sounds
the whole,
good.
because we do have 3 different counties in the Northern Indiana Community Foundation, and that's Fulton County, Miami County, and Stark County. So when I started in 2013, I had served on the board 5 years. A couple of those years with Evan, and I came on the job anyway.
Didn't scare him off.
Yeah.
So in Fulton County in 2013, when I started, the Fulton County Community Foundation had an $8.9 million in gifts given to
It's a
it.
big number when
In
you
that
started.
first 20 years, because it
Yeah.
started in 93 and went to 2013.
Okay.
So in the last 12 years, we now have over $22.6 million given in gifts. So an increase in those 12 years of like 13.3 million.
And that's just the gifts?
That's just the gifts.
Wow.
So all the assets of the Fulton County Community Foundation are now at over $30 million. And when I started, the whole NICF just had broken $20 million.
Of the 3 counties.
Of the 3 counties, yeah.
Wow.
So it's been an amazing ride, and stock market's helped a bunch.
Sure.
And then a couple of years they don't help so much.
But you said they average out helping about 8%. So
Exactly
that's
right.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
Well, thank you for sharing that. Those are just outstanding numbers.
yeah, and overall, all 3 counties, when I first started, were at just over 20 million. And at the end of March, not at the end of April, but at the end of March, we had $66.4 million in all 3 counties.
Wow.
Which is just an amazing.
You know, that really speaks to some vision on creating foundations like this, which sounds like we can thank Lilly Endowment Incorporated for helping with that. And I think they did that, and every county had that same opportunity in Indiana.
Yes.
Which is really just remarkable when you think about the scope of that. But then you think about, it wouldn't work without the generosity of the community itself.
Right, and that generosity started from the same guy that started this radio program. Nick and Suzanne Belcher, one of the founding fathers and mothers of the Fulton County Community Foundation. So,
Well,
amazing people.
We respect the long-term vision on something like this when, you know it's going to work well over time. You don't know how much, but you got to kind of somehow share that vision for others to
Right.
believe in it.
And we'll distribute funds from out of their funds that they started forever. So he's still helping people every day here. So.
That's neat. All right, one last thing real quick. It's neat to talk about vision a little bit. I was reflecting back on when we were both starting out with the foundation. It wasn't at the current location.
No.
Tell us a little bit about this, where we're at, where you guys are at now, because it's really a nice spot.
Yeah, in 2018, we were looking for a place. We had expanded and hired a couple of new employees and sort of outgrown our office. But we were leasing the office, so you didn't have control over getting things fixed and
Yeah.
painting and just all kinds of different things. So we looked at every building that was for sale in Fulton County and found none. So Caroline Jones, God rest her soul, had a connection with the building that we went into now and said, hey, it's not for sale, but you should go talk to them. So we went and talked to them and negotiated, and they were realtors, so we negotiated. And then we negotiated some more, and after about 3 months, we came up on a price and built that. We bought the building right next to the bagel shop, and it's been amazing for us. You know, we remodeled it. We have 15 people on a board, so we had to have a big room that we could have a board room in, and so we tore out a couple walls and did that. And it's just been an amazing building for us. So we bought, don't tell the bankers this, we borrowed the money from ourselves and paid ourselves back, and we were going to do a 15-year loan, and in 3.5 years we had the building.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So it's been a great move for us, and it'll be a great move for us going forward. So.
Yeah, and it's very visible. I love
It
that
is.
about it on that
Right.
street there.
It's easy to get a bagel, it's easy to get a tenderloin from the
Yeah.
streamliner,
It's almost
and
too easy.
and it's easy to make a deposit.
Well, thanks, Jay. Corinne, let's talk with you for a few minutes here.
Sure.
You're entering into this executive director role in the end of the month here.
Wow,
Which
it's
is
really exciting.
coming right up.
I know, I'm
So
super pumped.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'd love for our listeners to get to know you a little bit. You've been
Sure.
involved with this community foundation for many, many years.
Right.
And lots of people do know you from that, but some people might not. So share a little bit about yourself and where you come from and your background a little bit.
Sure. Well, I live in North Judson, Indiana, which is in
Nice
Stark
community.
County. It is. I love North Judson, but I'm originally from Bourbonnette and Green area,
Okay.
and I always laugh and say my husband took me from the big city of Bourbon to the big city of North Judson.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so coming to Rochester has always been a part of my life. Anyway, but yeah, I started in 2002, and I started out as the first hire for Stark County,
Okay.
as pretty much the director in Stark County,
To do it all.
to do it all. But we were pretty small then, and just same thing, telling people about the community foundation. And then when the job opened up for the scholarship and grant coordinator, I applied and got that. So that's when I started coming down to Rochester, and that was pretty much right away. So I've been driving down every day. But, you know, I don't have a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
But you know, you mentioned the building. I thought it was so interesting because we used to be in the chiropractor's
I
office.
didn't
on the
know
corner.
that.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
8th and Main here?
Yep, 8th and Main, and that was donated to us, so that's why we were
Okay.
there. And it was so small. I was in a hallway, and whenever we had a board meeting, we'd gather everything up and go to RTC for our board meetings.
I see.
I'd forgotten all about that too. You're talking about that. So that's, and I have 2 grown children and 3 grandchildren.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. They're the cutest. They're the sweetest. But yeah, so and my husband and I are musicians as well, and so we do that on a regular basis, not through the winter because we're getting old.
Okay.
But,
With the nice weather.
When the nice weather
Okay.
happens. So, yeah, so we do that a lot. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
great. All right, so I was just curious, you know, you've been in that scholarship and grants role. You've been the associate director
Right.
for several years here as well, kind of helping Jay. So I was curious about your observations over the years. Fulton County, you've been
Right.
coming here for a long time, about kind of our people and organizations here. Anything that sticks out to you?
Yeah, you know, each county is unique, and they're all very much the same. You know, but one thing about Fulton County is, I'll tell you, people are not afraid to tackle a big project.
Well, that's a neat observation.
You know, it's just amazing to me, and it doesn't have to happen right away. You know, I think about the theater, I think about, you know, the animal shelter,
Yeah.
you know, all these projects. And people start talking about it. Oh, the youth. That's it.
Outlet
Yeah,
Center,
the
that's
outlet
right.
center, because that started many years ago, people talking about that. But people do not give up, you
That's
know,
neat.
and they work together so well across all kinds of lines, and it's just, you know, it makes coming to work and awarding grant dollars just a pleasure.
Yeah. Somebody once told me that giving away money is a little bit harder, or maybe the hardest thing to do. And I kind of understand that now after working on the grant committee with you
Oh, yeah.
for many years.
Yeah, and the grants have grown so much, you know, what we can give away.
All right, tell us about maybe maybe your personal favorite project that you can remember from Fulton County over these years.
Right. You know, and I think you were on the committee at this time, but we had the opportunity to give larger grants, like a big grant. And so a leadership project came about where they were talking about when they needed an animal shelter. And so that started out with just sending out letters, helping them organize to send out letters. Do we need this, or is this important to you? And then that developed to gathering people together that wanted to make that happen, to getting the land. And that was our first big grant. And I tell you, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. But it ended up, just to get it started, we gave $100,000. And that was...
I recall that because I think the total granting dollars was a few years before were like 74 or 5,000.
Yeah.
So we've had some really good fortune through raising some community funds where there was more to give, but then giving that is tricky.
And we learned a lot, and
Yeah.
you were so helpful in that too, and just all of our grant committee members, because sometimes the question is this enough? Do you need more than this? Because
Yeah.
people want to make sure they're not asking for too much, you know, they really do, they're very thoughtful. But we also want to make sure that their project is successful.
That's right, and sustainable.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Jay, what about you? Anything that sticks out?
I worked early on the Manitow Mountain as a volunteer.
Yeah.
And that was a really, really early project, and so that sticks in my mind. I was in charge of purchasing all the material.
Really?
So
It's
that was-
lasted pretty well.
yeah, so that was when I was working at Rochester Home, so I had made a lot of good connections there to purchase the stuff with. And then just to see it. And then 2 years later, somebody from Miami County came and goes, "Hey, did you help on that Manitow Mountain?" And I go, "Yeah." And I go, "I still got the book." And so I gave them the book. They called the people, and now in Miami County they have a Miami fort.
Oh,
on the
that's
river.
awesome.
Yeah.
So that was really good, and continued to move on. So
Yeah.
that was a great thing.
Well, thanks for sharing those. All right, Jay, we'll stick with you for a second. Anything that you're most proud of as you look back and, you know, this is your final week with the foundation. Anything that sticks out to you that's really meaningful?
The foundation filled a spot that I had missed by helping people. I worked at Duke's Hospital for 12 years. So this has given that back to me, that you help people.
Yeah,
And that's important to me. So that'd be the biggest thing.
that's awesome. Corinne?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to know people from all three counties, and it's just amazing. Connections. And Jay has a connection, you know, because he grew up in Miami County, and so he's helped me meet a lot of people too in those areas.
That's neat. I see that you both come from different counties, but you've been working together. In Fulton
Yeah.
County.
It's worked out very well.
Yeah, I bet. All right, well, I noticed here recently some information about the latest Lilly Endowment Match program that's been going on. I'd like it if you could share a little bit about what we've done in Fulton County with that, where we're at, and maybe what that means for us.
Okay, Lilly has these different phases and stuff, and so about a year and a half ago, we finished up phase 7, which had like 5 or 6 different parts, very complicated. So Corinne sent in the final report, and 2 days later, we got a thing from Lilly going, phase 8 starts 15 days ago.
Oh my goodness, right on the heels.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
So they gave each county received $750,000 in community funds if they could get $375,000 to match those numbers. So that ends up over $1 million at 4% payout. That adds another $40,000 a year to all 3 counties to give out with their grants.
What a tool.
So
That's amazing.
of the 3 counties, Fulton County is usually the first one to get those kind of projects done, and we finished that up a year early at Giving Tuesday last year. So
Wow.
this phase 8 goes until the end of the year.
Okay.
So the other 2 counties are working hard to finish that up. But Lilly doesn't give you just one thing to do. Also, they'll give us $100,000 that we can use for whatever we want to if every board member gave $500.
Wow.
Well, we tell all board members when they come on, we're not bringing you on to give money. We don't expect you to give money. Your time is what we're looking for. Lilly doesn't agree with that.
They upped the ante a little bit.
So at our April NICF board meeting on Wednesday of this week, we announced that all 3 counties had met that $500 per person match. So each county will be getting $100,000.
That's
That's awesome.
You can put it into community funds, and that'll give an extra $4,000 every year. Or maybe we can start some funds like we'd like to do with like a maintenance fund to help.
Yeah,
Like we started a maintenance fund for the parks,
yeah.
and now it's got over $250,000 in it.
Wow.
We started a maintenance fund for Lake Manitou and the Lake Manitou Association, and somebody passed away, and now their fund is over $200,000.
Wow.
So those are the kind of things that we may be looking to spend some of this
Something
money
specific.
to kick something off that
Right.
needs help. And we really love the trails in the park, so those are big priorities. The only priority more than that would be kids.
You,
And in 2013, we started a preschool scholarship program. And in that 10-year period, 12-year period now, we've helped over 800 kids in all 3 counties attend preschool that most of them probably wouldn't have a chance to do. So
unbelievable.
Awesome.
those are the numbers I like to see.
Yeah. Well, it's a neat legacy, starting all the way back in '93, as you mentioned, and what's happening today and what this means for us. What a great place to work, I imagine, serving
It's
like you said.
amazing. Yeah, I just feel so blessed and lucky every day.
I love it.
It was only a job the first day when I walked through the door. I wasn't sure how it was all going to turn out, but it's been an amazing ride.
Well, I know that we're gonna be the foundation's gonna be celebrating your retirement next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about where and when and how we can come see you off into
Yeah.
retirement.
2 to 5 at the NICF office, and we're just going to have a bunch of sweets and snacks and maybe a little fruit for the healthy people. And then after 5 o'clock, if you want to participate more in the party, we'll be heading out to our local Moose Lodge, and they'll have food available to order and some other drinks available. So,
Okay. Well, we wish you incredible happiness in retirement, Jay. Thanks for your service to the community through the foundation. It's been a pleasure working with you and enjoying that from volunteer basis.
appreciate it. I do have a list of people that I would like to try to get through.
Okay.
The Academy Awards.
Yeah. Cue the
that
music.
have made an impact on my life that I may have never even met these people, starting with Dick and Suzanne. You know, another big giver at the foundation, Judy Climbing,
Yeah.
amazing lady. Penny Ramsey, Caroline Jones, one of our board members that had served 12 years, and she passed away 3 months before her 12-year term. So we have a little stone in our yard that says, "I'm on to my next journey."
Oh, that's so
what she
sweet.
always said.
Yeah.
Joe McCarter, RTC, Jana Vance, Angie Miller, a couple people I probably would have never ran into. Larry Cunningham and Linda Leisure. Larry Cunningham was on the board when I started, and he came to me when Terry Johnson left and said, "We need you here." And I said, "Okay, I'll try it for 3 to 5 years." I stayed 12.
Whoops.
Chris and Rex Robinson, some amazing people that give to our community. Brent Boggs, George Hapner, an old guy from Fulton that was on the board when I first started, just an amazing guy. Jeff Finke from Kiwanis, I never would have met Jeff. Mark Smith, Jamie Parker and her family from the Compassion Health Center. I worked out there a year before I started at the
That's
foundation. She came over and been on the grants committee, and now she's been on our board for quite a while. And then just some employees, Brian Johnson and his family, Hannah Bainey and the Lee family, Jillian Smith, who used to be next door to you guys, now she's a block away.
How you stole her.
We always go for the best, and Jillian definitely fit that. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention Evan and his family, and of course Corinne and her family. So,
Thank you, Jay.
been an amazing ride.
Thank you, Jay. It's gonna be tough to fill those shoes. I mean, you are bigger shoes. We all love you at the foundation, and we're gonna miss you. But I know you'll be in all the time.
That's right. Yeah, you won't stay away for long, probably.
Nope.
Coming in. Well, Corinne, we wish you the best of luck as well.
Thank you.
Continuing your journey with the foundation. I want to thank you for your long-term commitment and dedication. We're really excited for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, well, let's get to this sweet trivia. According to the pioneerwoman.com, she's got some great recipes on there, guys. I don't know. Anything that she's put on there. What's the most popular Easter candy in the U.S.? Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Cadbury Chocolate Mini Eggs, Hershey's Milk Chocolate, or Reese's Peanut Butter Eggs? Any guesses?
I'm gonna have to go with the Reese's peanut butter eggs.
I'm with
Okay,
you.
that's 3, and that's correct.
Yeah.
Available only at Easter, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Duh.
I was with you with jelly beans.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jelly
I like
beans would have been
jelly
good.
Yeah.
I really did. I mean, I'm not a Peeps fan, but I thought for sure maybe Peeps would be up there too. But
No,
I'm glad they're not.
I've had several people tell me that the peanut butter eggs taste better than the cups, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to do a test this week.
More peanut butter and less chocolate.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
probably
why.
right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's end this great show. Thanks everybody for participating with a quote from Steve Jobs. You know him from Apple. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower.
Awesome. Jay, congratulations. Best of luck in retirement. Corinne, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Evan, Tanner, we'll talk to you again next Friday.
Thanks, Randy.